Raza, what are you doing today? What history are
No,
you telling us?
he was
I'm
supposed to do Romeo and Juliet for Allie because he promised Allie last week, but he doesn't remember. Maybe he will. And you're going to do whatever's in the title.
Oh my God!
Yeah, and it's the
Right.
show
So I
too.
since he doesn't even remember, let's go. Let's go.
No, the live show, by the way, just so you know, is called not your grandfather's cigar show, but he still like it anyway. It's easy for me to say. Excuse me, more scotch, and I'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
So there you go, and then we'll change it for the whatchamacall. There we are, live, ladies and gentlemen. You're on the big screen as it should be. So there you go. Yeah, that's as it should be. Yeah, that's how everybody should be watching us is on the big screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just
absolutely.
saying. All right, so
Right.
you're
So
gonna do.
can I get the big screen now, please? Thank you very
Yes,
much.
you. Okay, yeah, yeah. That's not the first time we've heard that. All right, you have the big screen.
Thank you very much. So everyone, you might have noticed that on my left side, there used to be like four of these uh, bobbleheads. And there is something new that has been added to the table. So that is the new Indian dino head kind of thing, or the Indian chief figurine that I've gotten. And that is not just a figurine, but an amazing cigar stand. Hence, I take my cigar off that today. And for the ones who want to see it closely, that's how it
RZA.
is.
Very nice. Oh, look at that. So basically, you're using the Indians, or they like to be called the indigenous or the
Yeah.
First Nation people as slaves. Nice. That's very nice of you.
Uh,
Yeah,
well,
good.
we've been slaves for a lot of years. I mean, I think we deserve to have some but of fun in this world.
Okay, that's one way to look at it.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. So today's brand
Yeah.
is Fonseca, a lesser known brand in the Cuban portfolio, and lesser known for the ones who are not very regular smokers or who are new smokers. But the ones who've been around, they know that this brand is a pre revolution brand from 1892.
Wow.
So, practically, somewhat around, if I'm not wrong, so we are talking about 132, 33 years old brand. Fun part is the brand was formed by a gentleman named as Don Francisco Fonseca, who's renowned for his eloquence and very gentlemanly look. He created the brand, he built the factory and all that stuff. And 1907 is when he registered the brand, not only in his name but also expanded the operations while being living out of New York. So he had been moved. He had moved to New York or U.S. at that time. Yet he was operating his company in Cuba. The production was running, and that is when the brand got its recognition. Even after the revolution, the brand continued for a long time. It is termed as one of the other brands category or the portfolio category, and it is a very very unique cigar from a perspective that it still owns to the real kind of thought process of the founder Fonseca, because since he was a very well dressed gentleman and all that stuff, he decided that his cigars are going to be in tissue paper. So this
Oh
is
my
a
goodness.
Japanese tissue paper or Japanese paper which was used at that time, and this is the only brand like Cuaba in the Habanos portfolio, which is a double pyramid or double figurado always. This is one brand which is always in this kind of a small little tissue paper. There have been many cigars in this portfolio, but right now, the currently in production cigars are Fonseca. Has like four of those, one being Fonseca number one. Then there is, if I'm not wrong, Delicios. Yes, yeah. So sorry, Cosacos. It has, yeah, delicious. I was saying wrong. This is delicious. And the fourth one, which is the smallest and the thinnest one, this is KDT Cadets. So like the cadets. So this is KDT Cadets, which is actually a very thin cigar and still in production. It is a 36 ring gauge by 4.5 or 115 millimeter in length. So, without further ado on that brand, now a lot of people might be thinking, how do we smoke this thing? It's like the way there are a few cigars which come in a foil or they come in a cedros. How do you smoke? So, there are different ways you can tear the tissue paper, still keep the band and smoke. I prefer taking this thing out completely off the tissue paper and then smoking it that way. So I'm gonna do that, and then
Why
we
would
go.
you do that? You want people to see what you're smoking.
See, the thing is, I do not wish to smoke for others. I smoke for myself. Right
Right.
now, so in most of the cases, I try to now hide the band or take it off because I've seen a lot of people just smoke for the sake of the band or showing it. I keep it sometimes when I'm smoking alone. I take it off because it helps me actually remember the notes and the aroma and the profile of the cigar a lot, and that's how I am training myself for further depth of knowledge in this.
You could be right there. I've started taking the band off myself, but then
Yeah.
what I do is I flick it at the person sitting opposite so they know what I'm smoking. Because when they receive it, they can have a look and they say, "Ah, I got hit by a K Dorsey, or I got hit by a Fonseca," and
Mhm.
that in itself is a cigar memory for them to hold on to.
Right.
Well,
So
that's. Thanks for sharing that, by the way.
right. So mm, hmm, yeah, a little bit of more, and it should be done now. Yes, and
Oh God, look at this. We got matches now. Hey, vey. Here we go.
Archivist matches.
Apparently, they're a sponsor of the show now too. So,
really, I thought Davidoff was.
yeah, Davidoff
Davidoff
definitely is.
doesn't need to sponsor anyone. Davidoff is in a league of its own.
Davidoff wants to sponsor us so bad. We tell them we'll talk. We'll think about it. Stop it. So,
No, I think this talk of money is very crass.
oh,
Mm,
good.
I, I,
Yeah.
I think that if a brand is good, it sells itself.
wow.
Wow.
It's
How's your cigar?
it's a good.
It's a
Uh,
very grassy cigar. It's a grassy cigar.
the fun part is the first puff was very floral.
Hmm.
And for me at least, that's how I define that. Maybe you define it grassy again, perspectives. But the draw is very nice. It's a fresh cigar actually. It's not an old box. It's a box of 24 December ish types. So really nice.
If you
And
ever get around to retrohaling it, try retrohaling. That's like drawing into the back of the nose, and you get like a bit of a grassiness.
okay, nice. Okay, cool. For the ones who want a short smoke, this is probably a 25 to 30 minutes smoke again, given the fact it's just 4.5 with 36 ringgit. But
Okay.
the fact that it's a very thin rolled cigar, even lesser than the Lanceros and the Fundadores, it is very very uh, good in terms of the airflow,
Mhm.
and the construction is very nice, and it's again, as I said, it's a light to medium kind of a
Okay.
cigar. Yeah.
Very
So
nice.
I complete the Habanos history for today. A sweet, quick one.
Well, that was beautiful. I'm gonna later. I'm gonna touch myself and cry and sing show tunes. So
Now,
that was
now
very
that
nice.
now that Raza has paid homage to both of his angels on the right and left shoulder, Raza,
Right,
what do you
right.
want to say?
So, what would you like to discuss today?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus! I thought you were going to do Romeo and Juliet for Allie.
You see, my brain is I got a message. I often do. I get a
On a
message.
vacation today. That's what he wants to say.
Okay.
Ah,
His
Yeah.
brain is on a vacation today.
His
I
veins
think
were on
I am.
vacation.
I think I am. Someone
Uh,
suggested some sort of topic. I don't know.
Romeo and Juliet. Ali wanted you to cover, and you last week you're like, I'll
Okay,
cover
what do
Romeo
I
and
know about
Juliet.
Romeo y Julieta? Romeo y Julieta Cigars founded
Big
roughly
screen for us, Adil.
1875. 1875. Now, 1875 is a very important date. I'll tell you why 1875 is a very important date.
Sure.
Because 1875, incidentally, whilst it was
Day you were born.
so this is when the Romeo and Julieta factory opened, etc.,
Sure.
etc., etc., is
Oh,
also the
Jesus.
start of Impressionism. This is the
Oh.
year that Monet painted the impression of a sunrise en français,
Okay.
and where the term impressionism comes from. Now, there's a reason why I'm tying these two things together. Because 1874, 1875, this period was around the Grand Exposition in Paris. And there was a romance in the air for everything, exotic and Eastern. And at that time, the world was a smaller place.
Right.
So I'm guessing that sitting in Cuba at that time, Romeo and Juliet, the play by William Shakespeare, was the exotic thing to read, and therefore they gave this cigar an exotic, sort of romancy kind of name, and that's where that name
Okay.
comes from, right? Um, as far as I know, was one of two. I can never remember the other one. Winston Churchill's favorite brands. He would
Okay.
have 3 or 4 thousand cigars regularly in stock next to his study. He'd be constantly smoking Romeo and Julietas. Now, if you give me a pause, I did ask an industry expert for a nugget of info that no
Yeah.
one else may necessarily have about Romeo and Julieta. And I did get a
Okay.
response from the illustrious, let's see if I can find it.
It's
Let's see
just the
if I
two
can
of
find
us.
it.
I mean, anytime you want to show
From
up.
Alberto, who is
Yes.
the one of the so he said that Romeo and Julieta is one of the
Mhm.
few Habanos brands where the Vitola de la Galera Gran Coronas has existed
Ah, very
for the
nice.
longest period of time.
All
Hello,
right.
can you
Yeah, we're
still see
here.
me?
We
We
no,
can
we're
hear
right
you.
there.
We can hear you very
Usman's
much.
sleeping, but I'm here.
I'm very much
So
here.
that those things are off the top of my head.
Okay.
Romeo and Julieta cigars generally, I've had a complicated relationship with them
Right.
ever since
That was
I've
most of
smoked
your
them because
relationships.
first of all, it is one of the old brands. Well, it's one of the old brands, so it's one of the desirable brands. But for some
Right.
reason, it never peaks. Most people don't normally talk about Romeo and Julieta cigars.
Right.
They will talk about Partagas or Cohiba or this
Right.
or that, the other, right? For
Because they're
some reason,
better.
one of these really old brands, Romeo and Julieta, never quite makes the cut.
Right.
Now, I found, perhaps on a personal experience level, I don't know if Usman can relate to this, that Romeo and Julieta wrappers on the cigar are a bit more delicate. It's a bit more of a hard work cigar to get right,
Right.
to smoke right. You have to kind of little strive and be careful on how you light and how you smoke. It has a more, let's call it a little bit more of a delicate touch involved. You have to give it a little bit of love to get the
Okay.
love back, in keeping in line with this Romeo and Julieta kind of name thing.
Right.
That's my observation. I don't know if Usman agrees with me.
I
Usman, this is.
I
Do you
think I
agree?
think yeah, I think I will agree to a certain extent because a few of the new releases are really like that with a very delicate wrapper, and I would say more to do on that part is primarily because of the price point and all of that. So if that is not going to be giving that elegance and that delicacy kind